Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Now, I haven't touched this subject for a number of reasons. One, because it is such a volatile subject matter to actually discuss. And secondly, because it is such a widespread and in-depth subject matter, it's very, very hard to actually talk about. And well, if you do talk about it from one side, you're seen as being hateful yet again. And if you talk about it from the other side, you're seen as being anti-Semitic and everything else. And I think you guys already know what I'm referring to, if not from the title. But alas, we're talking about the Israel versus Hamas conflict. Now, I do know that the situation that is unfolding, there's a lot of people that are tragically losing their life, kids especially. But when you've got a T organization, I can't actually say the word, believe it or not, on this platform without getting demonetized. I can't believe that. But when you've got an organization which their founding charter is to wipe out an entire group of people, they're not allowed to exist. They've got to be done away with. When you have that organization allowed to exist and allowed to try and take out that other group of people, and you've got Hamas that wants to take out Israel and all the Jews. That's problematic. I wouldn't want that T organization to exist. So it becomes a very difficult situation because, yes, I know there's been a lot of tension in the Middle East for quite some time. And it's as if like the bear has been poked, the bear being Israel. The bear has been poked nonstop for a long period of time. You have retaliations here and there. They haven't really done too much. And Israel got out of the Gaza Strip, and it's whatever you want to. I know there's people out there that would claim that, Gaza and Israel is Palestine and all that kind of stuff that goes on. Personally, I'm no expert on this subject. I'm just trying to look at all this and look at what's going on and try and make sense of it all myself. And I personally don't think that there are experts on this matter at all. Like, how can you claim that you are an expert on the issues of Israel and Palestine and Israel and Hamas when really it's so in depth? I don't think anyone can really know the answers to everything that is involved and what to do. I personally don't want to be involved in this kind of situation because it is so volatile, because it is so tricky and so hard. And I don't like war. I don't like people dying senselessly. Look, Israel is not innocent in all this, and neither is Hamas or Palestine. So it's a big issue, but Hamas, they poked the bear too far. And as a result, Israel has now seen this as an opportunity to wipe out and take out completely that T organization that shouldn't be existing. Now, also, Hamas has embedded itself within Gaza, within the Palestinian people. It's very, very difficult to know who is actually innocent and who's not in this equation. I don't want any innocent children to die. The sad fact is, in any war, you've got innocent civilians that are caught up in the matter and they tragically lose their life. Does that mean I'm supportive of what Israel is doing? I'm supportive of the fact that they are trying to get rid of Hamas. I'm supportive of that. What I'm not supportive of is the senseless acts of violence. I know this to be a fact. I know that Israel is not going to just go in and kill innocent children. They're doing, I believe, you may disagree with me, and that's totally fine. And again, I may lose people for saying this, and I hope not. I hope we can have dialogue and discussion that is one that you can disagree with me and still follow along with all the other stuff. But I know Israel is doing whatever it can to save as many Palestinians as humanly possible. I don't believe that there is ingrained hate within the Jewish people. But what we've been seeing, especially this response from the Western world, is rather concerning. You have a lot of these young kids on college campuses that are yelling and screaming from the river to the sea and shouting these very, very vile remarks that they should not be shouting. It's really anti-Semitic. It's really concerning. They're waving Hezbollah flags and actual T organizations. They're doing all that sort of stuff on college campuses. They're protesting. They're wearing balaclavas and trying to cover their identities and their faces. You have a lot of young kids that have got no idea. The hypocrisy in all this is rather outstanding. It truly is outstanding to see all this. You have Queers for Palestine in the mix. Gaza, they wouldn't exist, right? They would be dead. But anyway, you had tensions and it was more or less a fight, a pride parade. You had pro-Palestinian and pro-Hamas supporters attacking Queers for Palestine, and it was amazing to see. Like, they both eat their own. But my concern is the level of hate that is being spread and stirred up in our society today. A lot of young people, they don't even seek to understand. A lot of Jews are fighting for their life, even though they're actually innocent in all this. It's not their fault. But for the fact that they are Jewish, they get seen as hateful individuals. They try and defend Israel. They are hateful people, apparently. They're all for a genocide that is supposedly going on. And I'm trying to work out, all right, what does that really mean? Is what's going on? Is the propaganda that we're seeing? Is what is going on? Is that really, truly considered a genocide? Can you say that 6 million people that were killed because of the Holocaust, that was in fact a genocide? But people are saying now that it's the Holocaust of the Palestinian people. It's a very interesting line of thought. Maybe you guys can put your thoughts in the comments. And I know the comment section is probably going to blow up because of this, and that's fine. You're allowed to have your say in a respectful manner. Please keep it respectful. Now, I understand that there are people out there that don't support Israel and what Israel is doing. They have a right not to support Israel. There's also people out there that don't support Palestine, and they support the annihilation of Hamas. But also, when you have people at rallies and things like that, this happened in New York City, waving Hezbollah flags and chanting vile remarks that this person wishes that, the guy that started World War II was still around so he could take care of the Jewish people. That is problematic. You do not want that person around today. I swear, if that person had won the war, history would be very, very different right now. You wouldn't be allowed to do the things that you are doing right now. The Jewish people would not exist if this person were allowed to continue doing what he's doing. Now, anyway, glad I got those thoughts out of the way, because I tried doing it the other day and YouTube didn't like it. So I tried my best to be as concise as I possibly can, but I wanted to share this video with you all because Candace Owens, many of you know who she is. She's been going through a lot currently with the Daily Wire. Apparently she was fired. We don't exactly know why she was fired from the Daily Wire, but I think it's there's like alluding to anti-Semitic comments and remarks and this whole Jesus is king thing that goes around. But anyway, she had her say on Piers Morgan. I don't want to speculate. I certainly don't want to make assumptions as to what went on or what didn't go on. She's got a gag order, I believe. She's an NDA. She's not allowed to say what went on and what happened, which, look, it's kind of cruelly cunning of the Daily Wire to do that. Kind of, I don't think, a very good show of character, but that's my opinion on it. So Candace went on Piers Morgan and she said, we should not be supporting Israel, talking about the United States. Great that we had a bit of clarity there. She wants the United States to stay out of all wars and look after its own. And And I think that is a valid point to make. I think the idea of having allies in certain conflicts, if it gets worse and it starts affecting you, then by all means, you get involved. But if it doesn't involve you and doesn't affect you, why in the world bother? Like, let that country face the conflict for themselves. They've started the conflict. Why should we have to get involved? Why should the people here that are innocent of all of it and didn't start anything, why should we have to do anything about it? Now, yes, we're allies with Israel. They're our biggest supporter in the Middle East. Here's a small nation, and they're very smart people. They've got a massive force. So, yeah, why? I understand wanting to support them, but do we really need to? In especially this kind of conflict, this is a very big deal. And it could upset and could change the West as we know it. It's already changing the West as we know it. So here is Candace on Piers Morgan sharing her views on why we should not be supporting Israel.
Here, I am consistent on all matters. I do not want America involved whatsoever in anything that is happening in Israel. I don't want my dollars sent over to Israel. We should not be supporting Israel. Obviously, Thomas Massey has done a lot of work showing how it doesn't even make economic sense that we have so much debt and yet we're sending money over to support Israel. And the biggest issue, by the way, that I have with Israel in talking about them being above reproach is the fact that they are supplying the arms to murder Christians. Okay. In Armenia, the oldest Christian country in the world, and yet nobody talks about that. For whatever reason, it seems to be the circumstance that when Jewish people die in Israel, it's wall-to-wall coverage. But when Christians die all over the world, nobody talks about it. Everyone wants to correlate everything to World War II. Everyone wants to talk about Adolf Hitler, and rightfully so, he was a horrific person. But nobody wants to talk about Henryk Yagoda, right? Nobody wants to talk about the Bolsheviks. Nobody wants to talk about the Christian Holocaust. I am tired of the media, exhausted of the media not speaking about what is happening to Christians all around the world. And it is especially horrific, while at the exact same time that it is happening, the slaughter of Christians in Armenia, the arms being supplied by Israel, that the media turns the other way and says, oh, okay, but what about what's happening in Israel? So you know what I'm asking for? Actual equality. Okay, because it seems like this is like a special category, the special relationship that we have. I'm a Christian first, okay? And so my concerns are going to be with what's happening to Christians all around the world, because it is us. We are the #1 most persecuted religion in the world. And all Christians watching this need to realize the time is now to start speaking up, because we have been silenced about the things that are happening to us for a very long time. And the media is very clearly not our friend. When there is wall-to-wall coverage of Christians being killed in Armenia, Christians being killed in Nigeria, and the treatment of Christians in America and all across the globe today, then you ask me if I will use my platform and I will use my voice to speak about what's happening in Israel. How about that?
The amount of money that the American people and the American tax dollars, not just in sending over to Israel, but sending to Ukraine and Russia, that conflict is an absurd amount. I can't believe it. It's like the US is funding all of this to just continue. Like, why? What is the point? Why are you funding all of this nonsense to go on? And she raises a very good point here, because no one seems to really talk about the murder and actual genocide of Christians. That seems to be done away with. Like, you don't hear on mainstream media, you don't hear on social media much, if any at all, that thousands, if not millions of Christians are being slaughtered around the world. It's actually happening before our very eyes. And she talks about some of the countries that a lot of the Christians are being killed for their faith. And apparently Israel is helping to fund that, which is interesting to me. Slaughter of Christians in Armenia, and there's countries in Africa. Once again, thousands, if not millions of Christians are being killed because of what they believe in. And I'm tired as well that the mainstream media doesn't cover it. Why? Why is it? Why is it they only cover when either Palestinians or Israelis get killed, but not Christians? It doesn't make any sense to me. But that's what's going on. She's not wrong. Christians or Christianity the number one persecuted religion in all the world by far. Why is that? Well, Christ said that if you believe in him, then you will face a great deal of persecution. But there's no equality anymore. It's just you either go with this, go with that. I'm with Candace on this. I am Christian first. Yes, I don't want people to die. I don't want any senseless violence. That goes for Christians. It goes for Jews. It goes for Palestinians. It's wrong. But why is it okay to only report on Israel or Palestine, but not on Christians that are dying everywhere in the world? The hypocrisy and the level of just blatant ignorance in all of this, it's truly absurd. I like what you said. I really do like what you said, because in America, in Australia, all across the world, if you are a Christian and people know that you are a Christian, you're going to face persecution. There was an old lady that prayed outside of an abortion clinic. She's 75 years old. But because she prayed silently outside of an abortion clinic, she's facing 2 years imprisonment. How is that right? 75 years old. She can't pray. It's not allowed. There's other people that are facing persecution as well. Other people that are being arrested. If you do the right thing and people know you or see you as being a Christian in today's society, you are demonized. You are hated. Why? Because they hate Christ. They hate what he did. The Jewish people, unfortunately, don't believe that Jesus is a son of God. They believe in God, but they don't believe in Jesus was a son of God, which is, again, in order for you to be saved, you've got to believe that Jesus was a son of God and he died and rose again for your sins. They don't believe that. He just believes that he was a man. So, again, I will say it. I am not supportive of any senseless violence, any hate either. So I want things to be civil. And that's why I haven't touched this very contentious and very volatile subject matter. But I will share my opinion. I will share what is on my heart, on my mind. And I do like what Candace Owens said in this matter. Other countries, despite the fact that we are allies with, India, Israel, you name it. Just because we have allies doesn't mean that we should get involved with conflict that was started by them or that they're getting involved in. Unless we are directly involved or we get dragged in. Then we have a right to defend ourselves as well. Then we have a right. It's like World War II. Same deal. The American people didn't want to get involved in World War II. Then Pearl Harbor happened. Then they finally got involved. Then the allyship began. But America is the hub now. America is like they've got the World Bank. They've got everything. America is the stronghold. So if America falls, the West will fall. They're the central. They know that. So they've got to be seen to be helping. I understand all that. But it doesn't mean a conflict like this, they need to necessarily get involved because it's going to destroy them. The people will rise up and they will, it won't be a good scenario at all. They're already starting to do it. College campuses, prime example. So we need strong leadership in this equation. I personally don't believe Joe Biden is a strong leader in this equation, but looks like a senile old man. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the matter. Feel free to share yours in a civil manner in the comment section. I'm okay to be wrong. I'm fine with that. I understand, again, it's a very hot topic. People have got a very hot opinion about it all. You guys take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all next video.